The second part of the text. Mr. Nipser arrived at 9 o'clock, and the two men sat down to breakfast. When they had finished, Mr. Williams, feeling both nervous and excited, hurried to the empty room. He unlocked the cupboard, took out the picture still face downwards, and without looking at the went back to his own room and put into Nisbet's hands. "Now, Nisbet," he said, "I want you to tell me what you see in the picture. Describe it, please, in detail. I'll tell you why afterwards." "Well," said Nisbet, "I have here a picture of an English country house by moonlight." "Moonlight? Are you sure?" "Oh, yes. The moon is shown quite clearly, and there are clouds in the sky." "All right, go on." "But I'm sure," added Williams quietly, "that there was no moon when I first saw it." "Well, there is not much more I can say," Nisbet continued. "The house has 3 rows of windows, 5 in each row, except at the bottom where there's a door instead of the middle one, and—" "But what about figures?" said Williams, with great interest. "Figures?" replied Nisbet. "There aren't any." "What? No figures on the grass in front?" "No, not a thing." "Are you sure?" "Of course I am, but there is one other thing." "What's that?" "One of the windows on the ground floor on the left of the door is open." "Is it really?" "Oh, yeah, I suppose he has got into the house," said Williams, with great excitement. He hurried across to where Nisbet was sitting and taking the picture from him, saw for himself. It was quite true. There was no figures on the lawn, and there was the open window. For a moment Williams was too surprised to speak. Then he sat down at his desk and wrote for a few minutes. When he had finished, he brought 2 papers across to Nisbet. He asked him to sign the first one, which was Nisbet's own description of the picture, then to read the other one, which was the note Williams had written the night before. "What can it all mean?" asked Nisbet. "That's what I must find out," said Williams. "Now, there are 3 things I must do. First, I must ask Grauwood exactly what he saw when he looked at the picture last night. Then I must have the picture photographed before it goes any further, and thirdly, I must find out where this house is." "I can take the photograph for you myself," said Nisbet, "but I think we are seeing something terrible happening here. The question is, has it already happened, or it's going to happen? You really must find out where the house is." He looked at the picture again and shook his head. "I think you are right. He has got it. I'm sure there will be some trouble in that house." "I'll tell you what I'll do," said Williams. "I'll show the picture to old Dr. Green. He grew up in the Essex, and he often goes to Sussex to see his brother who lives there. He's been going there for years. He must know both places quite well." "That's a very good idea," agreed Nisbet, "but I think I heard Green say that he was going away this weekend." "You're right," said Williams. "I remember now. He's going to Britain for the weekend. I'll leave a note asking him to see me as soon as he returns. Meanwhile, you take the picture and photograph it, and I'll see Grauwood and ask him what he saw when he looked at the last night." He paused. He added, "I don't think £20 is too much to ask for this picture, after all." In a short time Williams returned to his room, bringing Mr. Grauwood with him. Mr. Grauwood said that when he had looked at the picture, the figure was just starting to crawl across the lawn. He remembered that it was wearing a black garment with something white on the back. He was not sure if it was a cross. While he was writing down, Mr. Nisbet refused and said that he had photographed the picture. "What are you going to do, Williams?" asked Mr. Grauwood. "Are you going to sit and watch the picture all day?" "No, I don't think we need to do that," replied Williams. "You see, there has been plenty of time since I looked at last night for the creature in the picture to finish what he wants to do. But he has only gone into the house. The windows is open, and he must still be in there. I think he wants us to see what happened next. Anyway, I don't think the picture will change much during the day. I suggest that we all go for a walk after lunch and come back here for tea." I will leave the picture on my table and lock the door. My servant has a key and can get it when he wants to buy. Nobody else can. The others agreed that this was a good plan. They also wanted to avoid talking to anyone about this extraordinary picture, knowing what excitement and argument it would cause. At about 5 o'clock, they came back to Mr. Williams' rooms for tea. When they entered the room, they were surprised to find Mr. Filcher, the servant, sitting in the Mr. Williams' armchair and studying in a corner of the picture on the table. Mr. Filcher had worked in the college for many years and had never before behaved in so unusual a way. He seemed to feel this himself and tried to jump to his feet when the three men came in. "I'm sorry, sir," he said. "I didn't mean to sit down." "That's all right, Robert," said Mr. Williams. "I was going to ask you some time what you thought of the picture." "Well, sir," replied the servant, "of course, I don't really understand pictures, but I wouldn't like my little girl to see it. I'm sure it would give her bad dreams. It doesn't seem the right kind of picture to leave lying around. It could frighten anybody, seeing the awful thing carrying off the poor baby. That's what I think, sir. Will you need me any more day today?" "Sir, thank you, sir." Filcher left the room and the three men went at once to look at the picture. There was the house as before, under the moon and the clouds, but the window that had been open for was now shut, and the figure was once more on the lawn, but not crawling this time. No, it was walking with long steps towards the front of the picture. The moon was behind it, and the black material of its garment nearly covered its face. The three men were deeply thankful that they could see no more of the face than a high, white forehead and a few long, thin hairs. Its legs beneath the garment were horrible thin, and its arms held something which seemed to be a child. Whether dead or living, it was not possible to say.